Today is April 4th, 2025, and I'm just documenting that a lot of things in this room used to be completely filled up storage, pretty much from top ceiling to bottom floor, with exception, there is a bed right there. So, just letting it see to the ground where the bed is. It's a full-size bed. With the exception of that full-size bed, this was a completely filled storage room. And as you can see, if I walk out of the room, it is highly not a completely filled storage room. So there were a lot of theft, a lot of boxes taken from here. I'll pull out more so you can see to where the carpet is pretty much. I mean, with the exception of the door, it was kind of so filled that there was not even a way to open the door. I mean, there was a way, I knew how to do it, but that's how filled it was. It took work just to get in there because I didn't want anyone to steal, but obviously something happened. And we believe that's our greedy distant relatives, from Sussana Iljazi to Sophia Fiska to Marianne New Year and to some other distant relatives by marriage, most likely. I'll name them at another time because that's a very long, winding, complicated story, but I think that has some involvement too. But as you can see, this was completely filled up. So if you're seeing, there are many, many boxes missing from this room. Yesterday in the garage, same thing. I mean, not to the extent of this, but there was a lot of stuff missing from there too that I had noticed. And that is wrong. Because in there were documents, there were jewelry. Up here, we used to keep the Disney boxes that I bought from Disney.com. And it was right next to the pillows from Macy's. So as you can see, the pillows from Macy's is over there. Look at all this that's missing. If you look at the ceiling, lots missing. And so there's a lot of documentation to this because I had purchased, like I said, from Disney.com, a lot of things, and they're all gone. They were right next to that. My mom kept saying something about the garage, but no, I would have never put it in the garage because one of them was a big sized Mickey Mouse that I intended for a baby, whether for my own future baby or for, to give it to a good friend for their baby. That's what I had planned to do with that one. And guess what? It's all gone. And it was a lot of other Disney things too from Disney.com, like Beauty and the Beast, stuff like that. Cinderella, those kind of things. So I'm documenting everything because it's very wrong with what our distant relatives did to our family. This is one of them. The next video will be from the other room where the safe is, where somebody had broken in. I believe it was my dad had involvement because when I told him that something was broken into near the safe, he did not flinch. And my dad's the kind, he would have went irate if, something like that had happened. So I know he's involved. I believe they did it during the fire time for the safe. I don't know when exactly they did the part for the room. But for the fires, when we had Los Angeles fires, we didn't have any fire here. But somehow my dad kept saying, oh, we have to leave the white picket fence door open because just in case the fires. And me and my mom kept telling him, no, Dad, like Tony, it's not going to happen. Like, it's, this doesn't happen usually in Long Beach. If it does happen, it's like a very random type of thing. It's usually not due to fires. Those usually happen inside the, at the mountainous areas. So we had told him that, and he, for whatever reason, kept insisting. So I started noticing something because I notice when my dad gets a little strange about something, usually it's the wicked, corrupt FBI agent Sussana Iljazi involved in that. So I figured, wait, what is she trying to do? Is she trying to create some kind of small fire in the neighborhood in order to, scare the whole neighborhood so everybody leaves their houses so she can go and break in, have somebody, one of her cronies go in, break into the safe and, steal the documents, that the deeds, the, things like that. And so guess what? So that night after that, he looked kind of like stunned, and he was like kind of looked guilty, like he, like I caught them, whatever their plans were. So all of a sudden, he didn't talk about fires anymore. But then he said, but he goes into his room, whatever he texts her, whatever he does with her. Um, he comes back out. He goes, well, maybe there won't be a fire, but we still have to keep that white picket fence open just in case, because they need to help us. So people could help us if there's a fire or whatever. Like at least that whatever. So my mom left it open, which was very wrong to do, because obviously she was doing it with good intention, thinking that he was speaking with good intention in order to really help us. But no, the whole time it was a premeditated plan for the theft. And so this is what's happening here. And so that night, it was very windy. There was a storm, obviously. Los Angeles was highly affected in different neighborhoods, including city areas, which was surprising, to be honest. But, that fire situation did occur, but it did not happen in Long Beach where we live. And so what ended up happening was I ended up waking up in the middle of the night to a lot of noise. And I thought it was utility workers because I had heard, some type of drilling, like whether it was drilling or like cutting through solid structures. I had heard that night. But I thought because of the storm, maybe there were some utility workers here trying to work on electricity or, whatever's going on, trying to calm the situation, whatever was happening, maybe, to prevent another, God forbid, fire, in another area of Los Angeles County. So I didn't know, what was going on. So, but now that, we had discovered that there was a break-in into the ceiling area of my dad's, my mom's safe area, when I seen that, that's when I figured it out. So my next video will be about that. Thank you for everyone who will ever assist us in getting to the bottom of the truth about how a greedy, corrupt FBI agent came to Los Angeles County to stalk and harass, and with her co-conspirators, to try and obtain ill-begotten gains from an elderly couple and their one and only child daughter. Thank you to help us. Thank you to the investigators who will help us in this matter, because it is wrong what the greedy, corrupt FBI agent Sussana Iljazi and all her co-conspirators did. It's very wrong. Please protect my elderly parents and me. Please, future investigators, and hold all those people who did all that wrong to my elderly parents and me to account. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai.